Okay, so for my video journal, I listened to two different radio stations. I listened to All Things Considered with Guy Raz, which is an NPR radio station, and he talked about presidential politics. Does likability matter? That was the topic that he went with. And so first of all, the political viewpoint was kind of unclear. He didn't really lean towards whether he was a Democrat or a Republican. However, he did bring up only Democrats, which I thought was interesting. He talked about the likability gap between Hillary Clinton and Obama. He talked about Bill Clinton's speech saying that Obama campaigned well, therefore he was really well liked as far as that went. And he talked about how Jimmy Carter had higher likability than Ronald Reagan. So he brought up mostly Democrats and how they were liked better than their oppositions, basically. The genuine issues that Guy Raz brought up were basically the way we measure our candidates for presidency and like what should really matter, and how campaigning has become more of a public event, and so it's kind of essentially become a popularity contest, and he is basically discussing whether or not it should be and whether or not popularity actually matters as far as winning the presidential election. So he definitely concerned himself with genuine issues. He talked with a professor of political science at Stanford and discussed whether there was a correlation between likability and winning the White House. And the political science professor said that it is essentially a minor factor, and that there's no evidence showing that likability ultimately wins elections, and that it's basically just something that people throw around and they talk about a lot, like the old saying, like, who would you rather have a beer with? But really, as far as likability, he ultimately said that people don't decide whether or not they really like someone until after they're elected. So he's basically saying that it is a minor factor. And what does it say about politics, communication, and culture? Ultimately, that likability does not matter as far as winning the presidential election, but that there's this idea of popularity in the media, in politics, everywhere we go. That if you're more popular, if you're more down to earth, if someone would rather have a beer with you, then you'll win. And that's essentially what Guy Raz is saying isn't as important as people make it out to be. Okay, so that was that station. And then I also listened to 89.3 KPCC, which is Southern California Public Radio. So I kind of went to the other end of the spectrum to see what they were talking about over in California. The host's name was Larry Mantle, and his political viewpoint was Republican, definitely. He discussed the political debate, or the presidential debate, and he discussed how Romney definitely outshined Obama in the debate, and how he described Romney as being much more aggressive as far as explaining what he'd do if he was ultimately elected president. And he described Obama as sluggish, which I thought was interesting. So he was definitely more geared toward Mitt Romney and how he progressed through the debate. The genuine issues were basically what the actual debate entailed, which were healthcare, economy, and the role of the government. He concerned himself with the issues, definitely. He mostly says that Romney really needed a strong debate to reverse the rise in Obama's poll numbers, which he said that Obama had currently been seeing like a rise in the poll numbers. So he said that Romney definitely needed a strong debate in order to reverse that, and that he definitely did do that, and he came prepared. This relates to politics, communication, and culture, because with the election coming up, it kind of shows where they stand, and definitely as far as their debate skills, which is definitely important because the election's about a month away. So, and it also kind of gave a rough summary of the debate if you missed it. So those are the two different radio stations that I listened to, and that was kind of the feedback that I got from each radio station.